On a summer's night in Sandilands, a couple are in their home. The father was watching television chastising Margaret Thatcher while sitting back on the settee while the wife is in the kitchen checking through drawers and have a distant conversation of the day's topic. A loud bang was heard from upstairs and the wife went up to check if their young son Christopher had fallen out of bed, while the husband continued to watch the 9 o'clock news when a scream interrupted his watch and raced upstairs. He came to Christopher's room and saw his wife in tears cradling a blanket. He noticed the bedroom window was open and looked outside. Their son had disappeared into thin air. Californian co-ed Monica Langdon wakes up from her alarm clock going off. She finds her boyfriend Jason Wiggins getting dressed for work and looks at him aroused while putting his trousers on. Half an hour later he kissed her goodbye to head off to work. Monica then got herself ready. She was a part-time babysitter and was looking after Billy Jackson today. She left the flat, which is suited above a laundrette, and headed off to Garburn Road. She meets Billy's mum Marie at the house and Marie leaves for work. Billy was playing in and out of the house while Monica was in the sitting room in a relaxed state only to go off to have a nap. Billy was still in the garden when a tall muscular figure looms over the fence and picks him up in broad daylight. Monica awakens and looks for Billy. She gets tense and calls the police. They arrive and Marie returns quickly from her shift to scold Monica for not keeping an eye on him. Monica leaves the scene distraught by her mistake. Walking across Victoria Bridge she passes Trevor Norman and asks why she's upset. She explains. He understands and give her an opportunity. His sister is going to rehab for her heroin addiction and he needs to accompany her, but his niece Cassie needs a babysitter while they're away. Monica agrees to this reluctantly. Later that night Monica arrives at Trevor's house on Pete Lane. He hands her the house keys and heads off to his car to pick up his sister. Monica makes herself comfortable and puts Cassie to bed when it was time. In the kitchen she was leaning on one of the counters thinking about her job is on the line. Billy's disappearance and the consequences she might face. Suddenly she hears a crashing sound coming from the back garden and goes to investigate. There she meets the doctor. He was lying on the lawn moaning and coughing up clear yellow bile. She tries to shoo him out the garden because she thinks he's drunk, but he revolts at her actions and enters the house. He raids the fridge and helped himself to a whole block of Anchor butter, a jar of gherkins and 6 cans of Pilsner. He sat on the settee eating and telling her about the 10 missing children in this part of Kendall. She questions his response and thinks he's responsible for the disappearances. He says he's only been in town since yesterday after he crash-landed because of his regeneration and tells her that he was once a different person. Different face. Different personality, and this baffles her beyond belief. The doctor, still renewing, passes out on the settee. This leaves Monica to let him stay overnight. Next morning Monica gets woken up by Cassie saying that a strange man is rooting through her uncle's wardrobe and Monica quickly heads into Trevor's bedroom. The doctor discarded his predecessor's clothes and in turn changed into something that fitted him nicely. A cream linen suit with waistcoat, Hawaiian shirt, bolo tie and a pair of brown leather Jinx boots. Monica told him that he can't go around stealing people's clothes and the doctor responded with that it was gathering dust. After breakfast Monica suggests to Cassie that they should go to Woolworths. She gleefully says yes and the doctor says he'll join them. Monica tries to distract him saying has he got somewhere to go to, and the doctor remembered the TARDIS. Cassie looks up at him and asks what a TARDIS is. The doctor offers them both see what the TARDIS is. The doctor takes them to Sandilands Road where he points to a chain tied to a lamppost. Monica and Cassie don't see anything until the doctor clapped his hands to reveal the TARDIS fade out of nowhere. He says it has a cloaking switch to be invisible out of sight. Monica notices it was releasing brownish smoke out its windows and the light was sparking ferociously. The doctor explains it's repairing itself and clapped his hands again, but the TARDIS doesn't return to be invisible. The doctor had made a blunder and decides to just leave it, hoping no trouble with the residents nearby will react badly to a floating police box tied to a chain which is tied to a lamppost. As they walk through the town the doctor suspects that someone is following them. Monica thinks he's just paranoid because it's a place the doctor hasn't been to before, and the doctor claims he's visited the Lake District before but doesn't remember when. They head into Woolworths and the doctor susses out why Monica wanted to come into this particular store. Jason is one of the employees mainly stacking shelves and is Monica's boyfriend. She sneaks up on him and pinches his ass, causing him to smack his head on one of the shelves. While the couple are busy, the doctor takes Cassie through the aisles looking through what Woolworths has to offer. In Cassie's interest, it was the pick and mix and the VHS section. The doctor trying to bring influence to a 5-year-old girl about TV shows seen on the shelves like Thunderbirds or The Wind in the Willows, but her attention points to the likes of My Little Pony, Care Bears and Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. The doctor was shunned by this, claiming they are meaningless brain rot, especially Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Cassie just ignored him, thinking he's an old man and that he doesn't know what kids are into these days. Monica and Jason are canoodling near the tills until a group of 6 muscular men walk into the shop and bring out their guns. The doctor realizes they are Ogrons and strolls up to them. They want Cassie and the doctor brings her forward to them. He tricks them by sabotaging their communication device only to get thrown by one of them into some shelves. Jason sees one of the guns on the floor and shoots one of them. Monica starts throwing random items at them and Cassie scarpers out of the shop to avoid the Ogrons. The doctor gets up and throws a cricket ball at one of their foreheads, causing it to die due to their weakness. Monica realizes Cassie has run off and chases after her. She found her a couple blocks down the road interacting with a man in a white shirt, black tie and sunglasses. He was driving a white Porsche 911 and when Monica raced up, he grabs Cassie in a scoop-like way and shoots off, leaving Monica in a panic. The doctor and Jason head out to reunite with Monica. She explains what happened and the doctor thinks to himself, the Ogrons and a mysterious man lurking round may be involved with the disappearances. The 3 return back to Trevor's house. Monica notices his car and goes into a panic. Jason calms her down and the doctor wanders inside. Trevor was in the sitting room waiting with his arms crossed and a stern look on his face. Monica timidly explained everything, but Trevor just ignored her. He was furious with her that Cassie got out of her sight and to be kidnapped on the streets. Jason intercepts the conversation, but Trevor out of anger threatens him against the wall and the doctor restrains Trevor to the floor, nearly breaking his right arm. Trevor also berates the doctor for stealing his late father's linen suit. The doctor just replied saying Trevor should have least donated it if it was getting covered in dust in the wardrobe. Trevor regained his behavior and was calm after his little scuffle. He was just angry that his niece got kidnapped. Monica was looking at the Westmoreland Gazette. Various articles on the missing children were dominating the paper until she notices an image of a businessman in a white and tie with sunglasses. She had found the identity of Cassie's kidnapper and calls the doctor over. The man was called John Smith and he just recently acquired ownership of the Kendall factory. The doctor looks into this and hatches a plan. Approach John Smith and search the factory for any evidence. Monica and Jason agree to this, but it can risky, especially when there are Ogrons lurking about the town. The next day the doctor, Monica and Jason approach the Kendall factory. The doctor suspiciously decides to sneak into the factory and to leave Monica and Jason in their car just in case of escaping. Monica revolts the idea, but the doctor persuades her to stay as the situation would be dangerous and that she would be killed. The doctor sneaks into the factory. The Ogrons were in disguise using reusable raincoats to cover the ape-like features and were patrolling the factory as security. The doctor manages to get inside and find out what this John Smith is about. He encounters him with a couple of Ogron bodyguards. He was in the middle of a staff meeting talking to them about working harder, profit and business ideas. The doctor interrupts him and hijacks the meeting. John Smith gets aggressive to the doctor and the doctor's response was that he mentions plagiarism of name John Smith, but Smith just ignores him. The organ bodyguards subdue the doctor and knock him out. Outside, Monica gets agitated for not assisting the doctor. Jason reassures her that the doctor will find a solution, but Monica doesn't agree with him and walks out to the factory. The doctor awakens in a section of the factory where machinery is and John Smith comes out of the shadows. He shows him the 11 missing children wired to capsules. He demonstrates his plan to the doctor. The capsules containing the children extract the life forces of them, and John Smith's plan is to use the extraction to improve formula milk to sell for profit. The doctor inquires how he came in league with the Ogrons. John Smith's response was they were cheap, basically paying them peanuts for heavy work, and John Smith isn't human but an alien known as Sukanon. He rips off his human face, revealing olive green wired skin, one eye and a claw-like mouth. Monica and Jason also sneak into the factory. They hide nearby to find the doctor in conversation with Sukanon. They were disgusted by Sukanon's features and watched him demonstrating the extraction machine. The child he's testing on was Cassie. Monica tried to intervene but Jason stopped her and see this 5-year-old girl get her life force sucked out of her, reducing her to a skeleton with the grey bloodless skin intact. The doctor also watched in horror. Sukannon gleefully laughed at his plan and presented a sample of formula milk powder saying this is the future. Monica and Jason stealthily head to the machines and sabotage them. Sukannon goes ballistic and orders the Ogrons to eliminate them. The doctor manages to get free and uses the sonic screwdriver to take out the lights. The machines start sparking and flames quickly emerge. Monica and Jason retrieve the children and escape out of the factory. Jason picks up an Ogron blaster and starts shooting the Ogrons down. The doctor meanwhile was searching for Sukannon. Monica and Jason break out the doors with the 10 children. The Ogrons were tailing them and shooting randomly at them. Jason forces Monica to go with the children while he fends off the Ogrons. Monica pleads him to come but Jason says they need to be dead. They are aliens and they can't live on a world with humans. He kisses her cheek and runs off carrying an Ogron blaster. Monica continues to flee out of the factory area. The doctor was still in the factory. Flames were roaring and sparks were flying all over. Sukannon emerges out nowhere and knocks down the doctor with a fire extinguisher. He tries to hold back the extinguisher from crushing his chest. Sukannon relentlessly forces the extinguisher onto the doctor and cackles as he was going to kill the doctor. Jason storms in with blaster in hand and fires at Sukannon but misses his target. Sukannon throws the extinguisher away and quick draws a gun. He shoots Jason in the chest and dies instantly. The doctor gets up and fights Sukannon. He forcefully throws him into some electrics and gets killed, leaving a smell of burned alien flesh. The factory was breaking down and the doctor had no choice to retrieve Jason and leaves him in the burning building. Monica was outside waiting for the doctor. An injured Ogron suddenly appears and tries grab one of the children. Monica stamps on its head and the forehead explodes with green blood. The doctor emerges, steps over the dead Ogron body and tells the bad news to Monica. She was distraught that her boyfriend was dead and how stupid he was trying to be a hero. The doctor holds her hands trying to calm her and tells her that he saved the children and brought down an upcoming alien empire that would have been ended in domination. The police arrive and forcefully bring down the doctor, thinking that he was responsible for the kidnapping those children. One officer batted him with a truncheon and another pepper sprayed him. The doctor was sorta indisposed and got shoved back into a police van to be whisked away. Monica was left with some of the officers and returned the children to their families afterwards. She was still furious that the doctor got the blame for the disappearances. Monica was in bed, reeled by the death by Jason, crying and holding in her pain. A tapping sound was heard from her window and goes to check it out. It was the doctor throwing stones to attract her attention. She grabs her dressing gown and meets him outside the laundrette. He came to say sorry about the situation involving the deaths of Cassie and Jason. Monica says it wasn't his fault and that he did find the real cause of the child disappearances. She also said that she was going to propose to him at some point. She even bought the engagement ring, and this makes the doctor secretly felt even more guilty. The doctor, in an act of kindness, asks if Monica would like to travel in the TARDIS. She politely refuses his offer. She preferred to stay in Kendall and continue with her own life. The doctor accepts this and plans to say his goodbye. Monica tells him to wait and races back to the flat. She returns and presents him with the engagement ring. The doctor thought she was going to propose to him. Monica chuckles and says it's a reminder of her and Jason. She said Jason was the love of her life and that she couldn't be anyone else because he was the one. The doctor understood and Monica hugged him. The doctor was now ready to move on and travel round the universe. He waves at Monica and disappears into the night. He approaches the TARDIS. It was on the ground and he got rid of the chain by chucking it into someone's front garden. He puts the key in the hole when a group of residents came to him. They were furious about the TARDIS floating in the air in front of their houses, making it an eyesore and an act of vandalism. The doctor tells them to clear off, but the residents revolt. A couple were carrying empty milk bottles hoping to smash his head in, and an elderly lady had an iron in her right hand, shaking it violently at him. He quickly slides his way into the TARDIS, forcefully closing the door on the residents. They were banging and kicking the doors like a band of gorillas. Then the TARDIS sprung to life. It whirred and the dematerializing sound was roaring. Suddenly a force pushed the residents 10 meters away. Car windows exploded and the alarms went off. The TARDIS shook and vibrated. Then it shot off like a rocket into the sky. It swelled in the night and then vanished into a lightning flash. The doctor had left.